But next up, just in this, for the sake of time, let's talk about those those top five boys for this generation. And
Ooh, not before.
what's the
You want to start it out, Jalen? Because if we got any overlap, it's best to get it out the way.
Man, y'all want to know my top five, man. Y'all really want to know my top five? You don't want to know my top five. Not just playing. Nah, so y'all, I got some honorable mentions on here. Nah, I think
guarantee four square enemy schemes. All right, go.
they ain't even had that many games come out. Nah, but shoot, I just say my top five. These not in any order by any means. It'd be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, absolute fire. Y'all know we talked
Yeah.
about it a couple of times. Fire, FYRE, fire. Not just for. Okay, gotta mention Final Fantasy VII. Ooh, that game was. No, let me get in Punisher mode, boy. We a chop chop. You know we finna chop chop. But
Thinking about that game today. Can't wait to
the
replay it on PS5.
Oh my
I'm telling
god,
you,
both of y'all annoying.
gonna play that mug again. Nah, I got Persona 5 on there. That
Trash.
game, it was. I had a good time playing it, so I'm gonna put it up there. Like I actually think I beat that game in a month, and I was trying to play it, but as soon as I finished with school, I think I ended up beating it. Like it literally took me like a month to beat, and I had put like 100 hours in that game. So I was going dumb with the hours. Um, I'm trying to think. I'm kind of stuck between a few. Um, I had put like Bloodborne up there. I like Bloodborne for what it was, but it was kind of like I don't know, man. It's a good game to play. Like it's definitely an excellent game. I don't think it aged the best though, as far as like the PS5 goes. I mean PS4 goes, but it didn't age the best. And then let me see, that's three, six, seven. How many games I say?
Final
I like
Fantasy
Dark Souls
7.
3. Yeah, I'm over here saying I'll probably say my fifth one would probably be my top five would be Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls 3, Final Fantasy 7, Persona, and Sekiro. Um, I know my boys ain't like Sekiro like that, but man, so that the boss battles in that game, man, like Sekiro gave me the adrenaline of what Bloodborne boss battles was, except it then some. So like Bloodborne was an intense game. You know, you have to. It wasn't as many ways to skin the cat as you could in Dark Souls 3. Like you can skin the cat in multiple different ways. Like
Mhm.
you can play it this and that. But Sekiro, boy, you just have to be super hot fire in that mug because that last boss, man, I was probably fighting that last boss for probably about. I remember one night, bro. I was I was fighting him from like it had to be like 10 o'clock to like 3 a.m. and I still ain't beat him. I had to go to bed on the L, bro. I'm like, man, it's getting too late, bro. He keep bodying me, bro. Like I'm gonna whoop him tomorrow morning, man. So he was definitely giving me the blues, but it was just the intensity of them boss battles and stuff. I didn't 100% it or nothing like that because I didn't want to take the time to get real expertise at the mechanics and stuff like that. It was just like that. You just had a lot of adrenaline with that game. And then a game that I'm gonna say like an honorable mention. I know y'all probably hate this game, but Destiny One, bro. Man, we used to go dumb in the child, man. Don't get us started
Oh
with the
my
House of
god.
Wolves. Y'all want me to get the spirit bomb, do y'all? We used to be in that. We used to be in the Black Shield going crazy, boy.
Oh
We was
my
a
god.
man. Them was the days, dude. That was probably some of the best Destiny days, bro. That's where we got our name from, House of Wolves, man. We was in that mug getting busy. Triple Void Walkers, boy, we come through and straight kami your ass. Don't make me,
Don't make me get the
man.
spirit, Paul.
I'm telling you, dude,
Man.
come too straight, man. But yeah, that's my take, bro. That them was some good days, man. That's probably some of the best multiplayer days. Playing that Death Dog,
Yeah.
That's dog. That's dog. That's dog. That's dog. Yeah.
that's dog. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I mean, uh, you took Bloodborne off or you leaving it on?
Yeah.
You took.
So my top five would be Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls 3, Final Fantasy 7, Persona 5, and Sekiro.
Do you think Dark Souls 3 did more for you than Dark Souls 2? Or wait, well, Dark Souls 2 came out on PlayStation 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Okay, never mind. I thought I forget because I was like, I know you like that game more, even though it was Glitch Souls.
Man. Yeah.
Persona 5. Walk me through that. What was that decision behind that?
It was just a game where I was able to invest a lot of time in. It was interesting. I found myself wanting to I just wanted to play it and see what happened next to the story. I will say about 80% of the game pretty much hits its climax.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, it basically hits its climax. I mean, the game got another climax and stuff, but it was just kind of like a lot of like out the behind Deus Ex Machina, like it just got off course, and that's my biggest gripe with the game. But throughout playing Persona 5, it has some weak points. Don't get me wrong. This is just like games of the generation. I got games that's higher than this, but I mean, if you want to get real technical, I mean, Pokemon Emerald could be up there because that game was fire. But nah, but yeah, Persona 5, it was a cool game. It was like an RPG I was definitely invested in. Like it caught a lot of my attention. I liked it, the world and stuff like that. Like I said, it had some low points, but I mean, I played that game. Like I think that a lot of the motivator was the fact that like I had a DLC persona is like Izanagi Picaro, and I just wanted to like I just liked it to how you can like do the little guillotine and all that type of stuff, and like the fusion and different things to like make your persona better, and then how you can meld abilities and stuff to them. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, I mean I liked it, and it was a lot to do most of the days. Obviously there's a perfect way to play the game or whatever, but you know, I wanted to see what happened in some of the character stories next, and I put a lot of time in to make sure things was better off, and instead of just like jacking off my days and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
it's
just an interesting game.
Okay. Nah, that's I say decent list. And, you know, it's a few It's a few scrubs on there. It ain't Square Enix heavy, so
man, what's a scrub on her?
I appreciate that, huh?
What's a scrub on her?
In my opinion, I go with I mean,
I'll say Sekiro,
man. I'm just gonna say Persona 5, bro. I mean, I liked it 4 better. I mean, 5 was okay.
4 just had some bangers, man, like some of the music.
I liked it 4 better, dude. I ain't gonna hold you. But 5 definitely it at least elevated the dungeons, and it elevated the gameplay a lot more than, you know, going from 3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? So at least I saw a lot of differences in the gameplay. But I wouldn't put it up there in my top 5 just because of some of the things I didn't enjoy about it. The longevity of the ending, and you know, going through mementos and having that same, as you guys kind of explained to me, because I didn't even notice it honestly until you saying. Now I can't get it out of my head. But that one song that kind of plays throughout there, having that soundtrack, it kind of is annoying. But really, it was just the fact that it felt similar in a lot of ways, but they elevated the one thing that kind of, you know, maybe was more outlandish to you, that you kind of had to run through the same kind of corridors, and it wasn't that fun. But I felt like the story in Persona 4 was much better. Maybe because I only played Golden. I don't know. But I played Golden.
It might have been better.
I thought it was significantly like a better story, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just me. So
I skipped 5 off my list as well because it's a really good game and it improves a lot. But I still can't feel like it's the best Persona game. So it would be weird to say it's the best of the generation when I feel like they've done better. It mainly the story. Like overall, the game had quality of life improvements. The best Persona graphics that they've had. The characters were really good, but overall, it had a lot of structural problems. I guess they tried to fix that with Royal, which we haven't played, but I'm not about to spend another 100 hours on that game. So,
Yes.
oh well, you should get it right the
well,
first
you
time.
should have got it right the first time, buddy. But yeah, overall, pretty solid list. It ain't Square Enix heavy, so I appreciate that. I thought I was gonna at least see two more things. I thought you was gonna just
Man, what
I
other
thought you was
games they
gonna
came
throw
out
in.
with?
I thought you was gonna throw in Tomb Raider for the fun of it. 'Cause it's
Man,
Square
I ain't
Enix.
finna throw in Tomb Raider. I ain't finna put in Kingdom Hearts in that mug. I ain't finna.
Yeah, man. I thought you was gonna have Kingdom Hearts 3 on here.
Heck nah.
But I
All
mean,
defaulted.
it's a good list. Yeah. But all right. We come back to it. Let's get our list out there. Well, I guess go with Josh first. Go ahead, Josh. What's
Man, I want to hear yours now.
you in
I'm
here,
finna
man?
gun your list down.
he
I'm
got
finna
just
put the 40 at your list,
Last
man. I'm
of
finna
Us.
Yeah,
BBQ that
face
mug like you.
BBQ like a grill.
He finna say God of War, Last of Us.
Oh my god! Don't disrespect me, boy.
What else he finna put up there,
He got
man?
3 Sony games on there for sure.
Man,
He
just say
finna
your
say
list.
Uncharted.
Oh my
Horizon.
He
god.
finna say AAA games only. I'm gonna save my ammunition. Put it
Yeah,
up real
I
quick.
thought about Bloodborne, but I ended up skipping it. I also skipped Dark Souls 3. I enjoyed it a lot, but I feel like it's I don't know. It wasn't the best in all cases, so I just skipped it. I didn't put Sekiro on there because I didn't finish it. I might go back to that game in the future, but I feel like it was a bad time for me to be playing that game because I couldn't focus on it. But what I did go with, of course, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Amen. Amen.
Just that was a highlight of the generation. That's Square Enix actually delivering on what people expect of them.
Square Enix boys.
And it set up like a good place for the future where I'm excited for the next game, which they had a lot of misses in the last couple years. Final Fantasy 15, I hated, and a lot of their other games, and Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing. So for them to actually deliver on this was a big deal. Of course, Breath of the Wild goes without saying. It was one of the best Zelda games they made, and I would say Nintendo's best game that they've made recently as well. What else I had on there? I had The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3, I feel like, was the best of all the open world games that have come out. It had the best writing. I feel like it had a lot of characters or situations that you run into that were just very interesting and not copy and paste, where something like, Assassin's Creed might be a bigger, flashier world, but the characters and stuff are not. They're a lot more watered down. I'll just go with my other Square Enix game, Final Fantasy 14, because I played that this year, and I didn't think that the story would be anything worthwhile. I just wanted a game that I can play and level up for a long time, but it had a really, really good story, and so good that I probably would say it's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. So that was a surprise. And it still has more story coming out later this year, so I'm probably go back to it at some point. And my more controversial choices.
You better not say no Warframe, bro.
Man, if you say
I ain't playing with you, so don't play with me, bro. I ain't trying to hear no Captain Void, no strength to the Gnir. I ain't trying to hear none of that, bro.
Are you finna say Warframe?
Man, you better not. I'm gonna get off this podcast right now.
I had to pick a game that I spent a whole lot of time on.
Oh my god!
And I was looking at Destiny, like, no, it can't be Destiny. Can't be Destiny 2. Can't be For Honor.
Man.
Can't be Rainbow Six.
All right, I'm finna go to bed, bro.
What game had a good story?
Oh my god!
Warframe. And it came out this generation.
Go ahead, bro. All right, go explain yourself. Go ahead.
Man, yeah, go ahead, be great, man. Go ahead, do your thing.
From when I first played it, when the PS4 came out, I didn't like it. And I went back to it later, and I didn't like it. And then when I finally went back to it the third time and I played through the story, then it made sense. And compared to other games around that time, Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, like, why can't Destiny deliver a good story like this? Obviously, y'all haven't got to the story, so y'all don't know. It seems like a big issue. I'm only picking Warframe because of its story and that it can be a big multiplayer game over 6-7 years and tell a decent story, whereas Destiny, they got all the money in the world and they can't put their pants on and walk out the door. So
I ain't never heard that one before. Can't put their pants on.
That boy was holding out one for Destiny and Destiny alone. He said, boy, can't put your pants on.
Put your pants on, tie your shoes.
Said,
Man, I don't know how, dog.
Put your pants on, tie your shoes, boy. Like, I don't know how.
Man, what you talking about?
All right, well, let's go through this. Okay, Breath of the Wild, Final Fantasy, we already talked about that, so we got some similarities. You said Witcher 3, right? Witcher 3 was the best. You said probably one of the most sound stories in an open world game. Honestly, I feel like they kind of did it right the first time. They did it right for in a lot of ways that kind of nobody else was kind of pioneering at the time. And they took a lot of ideas and they kind of, manifested it all together. So I would give a nod to them and say I can't be mad at Witcher 3 being on your list at all. Final Fantasy 14 online. What you think about that, Jay?
I mean, I know a lot of people like that game. I don't think it's a bad game and stuff like that. I just don't. I just wouldn't play it because they banned my account. Like
They banned this account.
They banned that mug, banish guy.
Don't think Square Enix boy didn't play that. They both played it. And he just got
man. You played it too. I ain't trying to hear that.
Man, I played it for 2 seconds. Boy, I was out of there. I was out of there.
Man, you was at the same level as us, bro.
We tried everything. While Josh was in Japan. So we played it, but man.
You finna have this jam in yours, bro. I already know.
Boy, you throwing them discs, hitting them curvatures. Man, you don't know my list, so don't even talk about it.
Man, you finna have Just Cause.
All right, and then
Days Gone.
he got Warframe.
Yeah, I don't know if I would put that.
Man, I don't know, Josh. I mean,
I
hope I might have to just go look it up and have to talk to you about this after. But yeah, I mean, man likes what he likes. Can't say he can't like Warframe, but
hey Josh.
The loop.
I'm not saying it ain't got issues. I'm just saying that its highest highs throughout these last couple of years has been way better.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
Josh.
you can't name a multiplayer game that can compare.
Josh, keep going. No one knows you're here. Multiple biosignatures detected. You got infested.
Shake them JPEGs.
Man, they be shaking that screen hard in the mug. I'm surprised my TV ain't crack how hard them JPEGs be shaking.
Shake them JPEGs. Them loading screens be funny.
They be going dumb.
All right, well, that's all the time we got here, guys. We go.
Nah, you ain't. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I'm finna chop you up, bro. I'm finna let this thing.
I ain't did that, bro.
IGN top 10 list he got.
Yeah, whatever, dude. All right, so we got some similarities. All right. One of those is the Breath of the Wild. And let me tell y'all, because Karina wanted me to add this to her list. She said this is her list. She got 2 games. She got Breath of the Wild as well. And she got some Telltale, what's that? Walking Dead. She said that was one of her best generation games outside of Breath of the Wild.
Season 1, Season 2. Which
All
one?
of them. She said.
All of. Oh my god.
Wolf Among Us, all of that. She said that's her favorite game, interactive storytelling. She enjoyed those the most. But she ain't a real gamer. But she played Breath of the Wild, so I had to give her some. I had to give her some points there. But mine's was Breath of the Wild, no particular order. So, I did include Destiny 1, just because of the fact that it's the game that kind of solidified us, as well as it was the game that kind of got the most of my time, and as well as it was the most fun I ever had in a game, period, over my lifetime. So Destiny 1 had to be in there. It definitely has a lot of flaws, but it was that game for me. I did I did include God of War, but God of War changed its mechanics fundamentally to the point where it did not feel like the same game, and it had more depth into it than it used to have, that I enjoyed more. So, yes, it is a AAA game. Yes, it is, action packed and in that, but I think God of War deserves the nod more than most of the other games, like Last of Us, like Ghost of Tsushima, like any of those AAA PlayStation games, just simply because they did the most creative things by having one camera motions, and they basically hid all loading screens, and they had a continuous shot throughout the entire game, and it was just unique in its play style, in my opinion. Even though it was over the camera, over the back camera, like all the rest of their games, this was the most unique. So I had to give them the nod for that. I also included Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on my list. I like 2 significantly more than 1.
You like them more
I
than
haven't
1?
finished 1, but 2 is definitely a game I enjoyed, even though I hated the arts, like how they implemented, because the Switch is, a bad console in my opinion. It's not powerful enough, but I actually enjoyed Chronicles 2. It was a game that I actually see myself going back to finish and like get the DLC and kind of going through that. Even though I didn't finish all of that just yet, I think that's one of the games that I felt like stuck out in my brain over this 7-year period that I enjoyed enough, and I actually was like, getting off work, wanting to get back into, and like getting off work, going to get back into, kind of like you in Persona, and trying to figure out where the story was going to go. That's kind of how I felt with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And lastly, it's not controversial, but it's probably a game that y'all probably was like, it's a zombie game. It's Dying Light.
Man, I told you. I told y'all, didn't I?
I enjoyed Dying Light. Dying Light was very unique. Like, again, I like unique experiences, and that game was more unique than any other game that I played at the time. It was like parkour zombie, melee weapons and stuff like that, but it had such a unique spin on it, and they kind of even incorporated a lot of the storytelling in well, so it wasn't just a boring story. It actually had a pretty good story to it. Yes, it was a zombie game, but it had a unique it had a unique play style to it, as well as it was just overall, in general, a pretty good company, and they kind of kept a ear to the community in that game, as well as how they updated it and added new things. They even added a battle royale to that game because because that company is just interested in making sure that community stays alive. But I enjoyed it because of the unique gameplay and how you was able to parkour in first person, and it had that Mirror's Edge mixed with, Dead Island kind of feel to it. I enjoyed it a lot. So it got mine because that's the only game I went back and played and bought the DLC and kind of finished it through and then played it again. Just because, when I bought it on my PC, because I thought it was just such a unique, had a night and a dark and night cycle. It was like I'm sorry, a day and night cycle where the night cycle was much more intense than a day cycle. It added so many, unique mechanics at the time that I felt as if it deserved a top, in my opinion, a top 5. It wasn't a lot of stuff that wowed me this generation, but that game kind of sticks out in my mind as a game that truly shined in a lot of different ways. But that's my top 5. Like, again, it's Breath of the Wild, Destiny 1, God of War, Dying Light, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Go.
No, it's a decent list. I struggle with Destiny because like I liked it a lot, but I feel like also how the game, I guess, changes over time kind of can like sour your opinion on it. Because I feel like we liked play Destiny a lot more and have fun in the beginning. Whereas like over time, balance changes and things like that make it feel like it's more frustrating. But I would say Destiny 1 was still a much more fun time than we had in any other multiplayer games that we played, especially Destiny 2. God of War, I don't think me and Jalen played it, but it seemed like a decent game. And I like the old God of War games, and this one is more mature, so I can see, it's a pretty good choice, even though it's a safe choice. Um,
Yeah.
what was the other one? Dying Light, Breath of the Wild, and what was your last one?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh yeah, Xenoblade. Yeah, I like the gameplay of it, and I feel like that's a really good JRPG that came out. We have issues with like the characters or the art style, but I feel like overall it was a really good game as well. Did you finish 2, right, Jayla?
Yeah, well,
Or you
technically I got
played
to the
enough
final
of it?
boss and I
Yeah.
got to the final phase and I died on the final boss and I was like, I ain't playing no more. I was like, I don't even care about playing that much no more, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I ain't really cared too much for it. It was an alright game. It just wasn't,
It's understandable.
Warframe better than that game. Not just flying.
Hey,
Warframe
man.
better than Dying Light.
Nah, man. Nah. I mean, like I said, because these lists are personals, it's interesting. But no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, I didn't know Dying Light would make it on your list because I feel like you played that game a long time ago. Like,
Yeah.
Nah, I knew it was on his list. He bought it twice. I remember. Didn't they come out a definitive version? I
Enhanced
said that
edition.
before we. That's what I'm saying. I
No, the
said that before
following
you even
edition. That's
mentioned
what it
it.
was called.
Didn't I say that
you
today
played
before
on
you
the
mentioned it?
original Xbox.
No,
Like,
you ain't say Dying Light. No,
What I say? Days Gone.
Days Gone and some other
Oh,
stuff.
okay. That's what I had meant. Yeah, but I remember because I remember I used to come home from this and this dude playing. I'm like, dude, that game cannot be that fun. Like, what are you doing on that game? He always was playing Dying Light. I'm like, dude, stop playing that game, dude. Like, want that game a bust?
No,
Like,
it wasn't. Not in my
man.
eyes. It
Well,
had
I don't
unique.
think
It
it
was
was a
unique.
bust. I think it was like people expected more from the game. Like it had high expectations, but it ain't meet it. But it wasn't like a terrible game. I just remember you playing that game a lot. You was like, and I think I had came home one day from class, and I looked on the thing. It said Dying Light Enhanced. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, don't tell me they re-released this game and he bought it again, dude. It said enhanced on the PlayStation thing. I'm just like, man, this dude playing this game again, bro.
I had to get the DLC.
I'm like, man, all right, bro. We'll
And I
let you be
played it
great.
again. That game is fire, bro. But
Man, at least you ain't have what I was about to say, Far Cry on that mug.
Far Cry, Far
no, you
Cry
be
4 or
skipping to
5, yeah, Primal, all that junk was trash. But I liked the Far Cry 3 was probably my favorite at this point. It still is.
What's that one? The one with that what's his name?
Voss.
Voss.
Yeah. Voss on it. Voss was my favorite like villain, and like that was my favorite story. It was kind of definitely where they kind of changed and shifted into the Far Cry they are today, but it was the best implemented at that time. Maybe because it was fresh, but I think Voss just kind of brought a different spin to it. And I think he just delivered his message of crazy more. Maybe because we kind of repeating the same Voss formula. Maybe it got downplayed, and these people's performances were still really good. It just that wasn't like the first performance. I don't know, but in my opinion, Voss was the best one. I'm hoping this Far Cry 6. My man's from Bacon Brad. He's always been a good actor, but I don't think them tying a big name to the acting is really going to help, resolve their another Voss problem. Hopefully they incorporate something new, but I think Far Cry 6 may be something special. Maybe I that's what I think. But yeah, I mean that's my list really. I think we got some similarities. I think Breath of the Wild just deserves a notch at the top just because, bro. That game was revolutionary. I think it kind of hit the right marks with everybody, and that's kind of crazy for a game like that to do. But I mean, obviously you guys like Final Fantasy. I ain't played it, so I can't really justify putting it on a list or even talking about it more, but
that's number 2. You can put it on there.
I ain't got that. That ain't on my list. It's on y'all list.
That game a bucker, bro.
I think the memory of Destiny 1 is what resonates with me the most, of what it kind of elevated our friendship a lot, and it kind of just was something that we was looking forward to doing all the time. It was like if you ain't with your girl, or you ain't at the basketball, you ain't at school, you playing Death Dog, and that was pretty much what it was. And I don't know, it was a weird time. I definitely played that game way too much, but I enjoyed a lot of it. I ain't gonna hold you, but
we is in that mug, bro. Yeah. All through the Black Shield, all through the Twilight Gap. Triple Void. I remember one time we had one. Can y'all believe we used to be like, man, these dudes cheating, bro? No, we got with that Party Crasher +1 type boy.
Party Crasher Matador 64, banging. Man. No, what's up?
We is in that. Hey,
Josh, open up that door.
We used to be in, bro. We used to get straight to it as soon as the thing. You hear that little blink noise, that
no game.
We is in that. Like, yeah, we here, nigga. We here.
Steamroll.
Yeah, we had one flawless that one time. We was just talking about some other stuff, and next thing you know, we was flawless. I'm like, man, we gods at this game, bro.
Yeah, we wasn't even thinking about it. We was just playing, and we just kind of, that's 7-7. Oh, that's 7 wins. Yeah, we going to the lighthouse. we was like I said, that game had the most memories for me, so I had to get it, even though at the end of it, it wasn't my favorite game no more. Destiny 2 definitely is a disappointment, but I think we're in a different space now where we can't do what we did previously, and I also think that they have changed so much that it has lost that feeling of Destiny 1 that it originally had, and it's now them trying to revert back to what it was before, which makes zero sense because you had the winning formula. You just had to tweak it properly and in a good way. For them to break it, it's kind of like, well, what was the point of you doing all that to try to get more people into the game, and then realize that the people that was making that game live were the people that you neglected. So that's what I kind of don't like about Destiny at this point, but overall, I still got to get that notch.
Yeah,
I can understand why Jalen would put Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro on his list, just because of those games being, very similar to his style of play. Tough boss battles, overcoming a hardship kind of deal. He enjoys that type of gameplay. I don't, but I get why. I get the appeal of it. I've played multiple Souls type games, and I understand the appeal of overcoming like a strong boss or whooping somebody quickly and like taking them down from 100 to 0 in like 4 or 5 slices if you got the right mechanics and magic. I think that's what kind of Jalen was looking for. If there was something different, what would you say was really stood out for you in these those Souls games?
Man, I mean, it's just a little like I feel like it's a thing that I can adapt to. The music be engaging, like the closeness, like the little too close for comfort, like type things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, you seen when I was playing Kingdom Hearts on critical mode when I was fighting Lexaeus, boy, he is swinging that tomahawk, boy. He hit them reaction commands of the timing, man. That adrenaline when you be fighting them bosses, dude, it be kicking in, dude. I don't like fighting like little cheap, like dumb bosses and stuff like that. But that adrenaline when you in them boss battles, man, that quick timing and every moment you can die and all that type of stuff, dude. That junk be
High
intense,
stakes.
man. High stakes, man. Them high stakes battles, you be. I guess I got to start over, man. So I don't Kingdom Hearts battles, them critical modes, and what I'm saying, trying to beat Sephiroth at level 40 on the first try without the Ultima and stuff like that. Man, them
Yeah,
them battles, man. That adrenaline, you get hit one time, you're like, dang, bro, I got to do it again. I got to be a perfectionist.
yeah. That's
So,
what that's what that's what Jalen calls fun. But no, I get it. I get it. And then we got Josh. He got some solid stuff on his. Again, it's the Final Fantasy 7, Breath of the Wild, Witcher 3, Final Fantasy 14 online, and Warframe is was blowing me right now. Obviously, he has he likes those
Captain Vork.
continuations of
Leveling up,
games, and he likes leveling
RPGs.
up, grinding. Talk to me a little bit more about what stood out for these two games that you really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of games that I skipped on that I wanted to put. Like, I like Dark Souls, I like Bloodborne, those games, because I feel like those are my type of games I like to play. Like me and Jalen have a lot of overlap, but I don't know. They just for some reason weren't my favorite this generation
Hmm.
because I like Dark Souls one more and stuff like that. I almost did Timefall 2, but I feel like we didn't play enough of the multiplayer for it to have a long lasting effect on me.
Yeah,
Um,
true, true.
yeah, I picked Final Fantasy 14, like I said, just because its story is really good. Like it has a good ramp up of you fight these bosses, you level up, you get these abilities, but the story is also good the whole way through. So I feel like it's worthwhile to put the time and fight these hard bosses because it's worth it in the end. Um, Whereas Warframe, I would say like it's more basic, multiplayer game throughout most of its situation, and
Hmm.
like leveling up and stuff is cool, but its strong point, it's probably the best multiplayer like shooter or multiplayer sci-fi story that we've played. Because like we played the Division, we've played um, Destiny, and all these other games, and they're cool. They have interesting things. Like you go to the Vault of Glass. Atheon's interesting, but he doesn't have a story. He doesn't have a backstory. There's nothing actually going on once you beat Atheon. Whereas I feel like Warframe actually delivers on that type of stuff, which is good if you're gonna spend a lot of time playing the game. It at least better give you a worthwhile story.
Yeah, no, and I truly understand that. I think the fact that these games are what stood out to us kind of showcases why we we have different perspectives on video games, and that's kind of what the unique thing about video games is, that you always can find something you're interested in when it comes to this stuff. So no, these some, like I
Overall,
said,
though,
these some solid lists. Go, what you say? Sorry.
I would say this was kind of a light generation as far as games that I really really like.
Yeah.
Um, when I was looking back, I was surprised there's not as many games I would say were my favorite.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was looking back, and I was kind of like, that's why all these unique type games that I really enjoyed their implementation or not their art style, but their gameplay and their mechanics within that. That's why I kind of give it to that nod to God of War, because again, I try to stay away from those type of games because they are really mainstream. Like Breath of the Wild, I understand why you get it. It doesn't matter if it's mainstream, but God of War is that game that's kind of like it showcased what you can really do with just one camera, and it showcased how people can tell a story from that perspective, and it worked well. So I mean,
Mm.
that's one game I would really suggest y'all just play it, bro. But obviously y'all stuck in y'all ways. But if it was
Play
one
it.
game I could get y'all to play, it would probably
Take
be
time.
God of War. But yeah. But
I'm
that's
surprised
pretty much
Jalen
our.
ain't gonna get Overwatch in there.
Oh, well, we just started getting back into that, and that was mostly you for the most part, at first at least. And then Jalen just got so infatuated with Ash and how she get them clean headshots that he can't put it down no more.
Man, you be in there bucking, bro.
Yeah, but that's pretty much our time for this week. But again, we want to thank you guys for listening. This is the House of Wolves podcast. If you can, please rate us. Let us know what you guys think. I don't know if there is any comment sections in a podcast. But I just want to let you guys know we appreciate you listening, and we will talk to you guys on the next one.
Oh yeah, and don't give us a bad rating or nothing because Josh said Warframe. All right, like don't hold that against us.
Yeah, if anything, they're gonna be talking about Superman. But all right, thanks for listening. Talk to you guys in the next one.